All right, guys, we're going to hit lesson 16.4, which is on finding volume. So volume is a three-dimensional shape. So you're going to have three dimensions. You're going to have a length, you're going to have a width, and you're going to have a height. So finding volume, volume equals length times width times height. Okay. Now, if you look on your star card, they're going to have the length and the width. They consider that the base. So you're going to see not L times W times H. They're going to put the length and the width together, and they're going to call it base. And they're going to have a capital B times height. B for base. And to find base, you would multiply length times width. So don't be confused by that if you're looking at your star card for your volume. Okay. So if I'm going to find the volume of this shape, I'm going to multiply the length times the width times the height. So length is 25 times width is 17.5 times height is 1.5. You can multiply through by using your fractions, or if you want to convert your fractions to decimals, then you guys know that 1/2 is the same thing as 0.5. So you can convert all those back to 0.5. Then, when you multiply all that through, if you do it by fractions, you'll get 656 1/4. Or if you do it all by decimals, you should get 656.25. Okay? All right. I want you guys to try this one. So hit the pause button, work it out, and then unpause it and check your work with mine. All right, pause. All right, guys, let's see how you did on here. So I know volume is length times width. That's a times, whoops, not a plus, times height. So I'm going to plug in my length, which is 18.5, times my width, which is 4, times my height, which is 12.5. Again, you can multiply that through with fractions, or if you want to change your fractions into decimals, that's fine too. And again, when you multiply all that out, you should end up with a volume of 925. Now, I forgot to mention on the other one, when we did area, our unit was always squared because there was two dimensions, a length and a width. But on this one, our unit has three dimensions, a length, a width, and a height. So volume will be what we call cubed, meaning 3. So it'd be inches to the third power, or inches cubed. All right. Same thing as we did a little while ago in chapter or lesson 3, where we're given the area and you had to find another dimension. We're going to do the same thing here. They're going to give us the volume, and we have to find one of the three dimensions. In this case, the height. So always start by writing your formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Plug in what you know. I know my V, my volume, is 375. I know my length is 15. I know my width is 2.5, and I have no idea what my height is. So I'm going to simplify by going ahead and multiplying those two numbers out, which gets me 37.5. Bring down everything I haven't used. Now I'm going to flip these because I always like the letter on the left side. And now I want to solve for H. So to solve for H, I got to get rid of this 37.5. So to get rid of it, I'm going to divide by it, which cancels it out and leaves me with H. But if I divided the left side, then I got to divide the right side by the same number. And now when I take 375 and I divide it by 37.5, that gets me h equals 10. So I know my height is 10. All right, guys, I want you to try this one. So hit the pause button, work it out, and then unpause it and check your answer with mine and see how it did. See how you did. All right, hit pause. Okay, let's see what you did. I'm going to start with my formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Plug in what I know. I know my volume was 15 over 16. I know my length was 3 over 4. My width was 1/2. My height, I don't know. So I'm going to start by multiplying these two numbers. Remember, when you multiply fractions, it's top times top, bottom times bottom. So 3 times 1 gets me 3. 4 times 2 gets me 8 times height. Now, I want to solve for the letter H. So I'm going to quickly rewrite this so the H is on the left side and the other fractions on the right. So to solve for H, to get it all by itself, I got to get rid of the 3/8. So I'm going to divide 3/8 by 3/8, which cancels out and leaves me an H by itself. But if I divided the left side by 3/8, then I have to divide the right side by 3/8. Now, do you remember what you do when we divide fractions? Remember, we keep, switch, flip. So keep 15 over 16, switch my sign, and flip 8 over 3. Now you can multiply top times top, bottom times bottom, or you can go ahead and cross cancel. So if I cross cancel, I know I can cancel the 15 and the 3 out by dividing by 3. And I can cancel the 16 and the 8 out, dividing by 8. So now I would be multiplying 5 times 1, which gets me 5, and 2 times 1, which gets me 2. So H equals 5 over 2, but we know that's a big head, it's improper. So I have to divide and slide to work that out. So your answer in the end, after you divide and slide, should be height is equal to 2.5. All right, guys, I'm going to send you a worksheet to work on to practice finding volume. Holler if you have questions, but get on to worksheet 16.4. All right, bye.